is this starter, which basically it's kind of finicky. You press it a couple times, once on the engine, I think, then once here, and then it kicks on. Then finally, the biggest feature, since you got that JDM TV, and I think this is aftermarket in this car, but it's pretty common in Japan to have a TV built in to your car. I guess I changed the channel there. I usually don't leave it on because I'm listening to music, but yeah, it definitely works though. Yeah, it definitely works. And you can obviously hear it, and it works when you're driving. That's the best part. So in the US market, all the cars have cool boxes. The LX570s and I think the Landcruisers also. This car doesn't, and I think it's an option in Japan. Also, it doesn't have sunshades. I know a lot of cars in the US have sunshades, like the 570. Not sure if the Landcruiser in the US had a sunshade in the back, but this one definitely doesn't. Of course, we have the JDM speedometer, and that's going to be in kilometers. As far as the build quality, I will be honest, it seems like it's a little tighter in Japan. I'm not sure what they're doing differently for their market versus our market. But like, I had a 570, LX 570, and it had a Mark Levinson system. And the stereo in that system was rattling so much, it was crazy. Like, I don't understand why it was so bad. And I know in Japan, that wasn't gonna slide. It must have been like a cable going to the speaker or something, but it was really annoying. And I couldn't really turn it up, which was probably better for the community and myself. So it's not a big deal. But in any case, like, this car doesn't have any squeaks and rattles or anything like that. I don't think they do anything differently for the Japanese market. It must have just been my experience. But I mean, this car is put together. You know, I bought this car with like 40,000 kilometers, which is like pretty low mileage for like a 2015, 14 car. And I mean, it's like brand new, you know, but I actually use it in like kind of a rugged environment. So, you know, I didn't want to have all the niceties that are just going to get scraped off. Even this car is getting scrapes all over because where I drive, it's like, this car is too big for the Japanese roads, right? And I'll talk about that in another video. But basically, I think that's one of the reasons you can get a low mileage Landcruiser in Japan. It's the roads are narrow. They're narrow. They're so narrow, and there's like trees that can overgrow the side of the road, like bamboo and trees, depending on where you live. It's just a tight fit, and you're going to get scraped up if you're turning a lot. And I just don't. I think it's too big of a car for a narrow road. And a couple other differences. You might have your Landcruiser might come with these different mats. We don't have these mats in the US. And finally, a lot of Landcruisers come with their own, I guess, rain gutter or rain guard. And that's not really a common thing in the United States, but definitely common over here. So most cars either have it or you can probably get them inexpensively. But yeah, overall it's the same thing. There's some minor differences. Do I like them? Yeah, it's cool. I like it. One thing is the leather in the Japanese car. It might be of a better quality because the Landcruiser leather is not usually as nice as the Lexus leather, but this leather is like the Lexus leather, but it's what's the word? It's tougher. Like the surface is tougher, but it's definitely aniline leather and it smells like it, so it's dyed all the way through. It's not gonna peel over time like some of the other Landcruiser leathers, like the Landcruiser 100. Sometimes the leather was, the plastic on the leather, the paint on the leather would come off. This is not gonna have that problem. So it's kind of interesting that they have a nicer leather here. So another weird feature, which the US model has a toolbox, but on this side we have this safety cross that you can lay out in case you unlikely got stranded somewhere. And this is the same toolbox that we have in the US. And this is the main difference. This car's got a 4.7 liter V8 engine. I'm sure I can take this cover off in a different video. And this is a aftermarket battery that came with the car. But in general, this motor is smaller than the US motor, which is 5.7 liters. The thing is, in Japan, the roads are not that straight. Like in the US, you can get a stretch of highway that you can see probably like a mile down. You don't have to turn. Over here, there's so many turns, you can't just like, even when you're like in Tokyo, the road's curvy, you just can't go at like 120 kilometers per hour in your Landcruiser. It's just, I mean, you can, but it's more stressful. You know, it's kind of like 100 kilometers, just like 66 miles an hour. That's like a good cruising speed over here. You know, in the US, I'd go 90, you know, it's not a big deal. Over here, because of that, I think you don't notice the engine speed as much, engine being slightly smaller. I mean, I don't notice it at all off-road. Oh yeah, one more thing. No tow hook. JDM market cars, you can get an aftermarket tow hook. But in the US, there's like a little thing you can pull off the bumper, and then there's a tow hook built in. So we don't have that in Japan. I mean, I think you can order it, right? Of course you can order it, but they don't come with that. And then if you get a JDM car, this one says ZX. ZX is a higher spec one. Whatever spec your car is, it might say that on the back. Some of them don't say it. Like I think the lower specs don't show it, but like VX, they'll show it. VXR, the new ones. ZX obviously shows it. I personally could have got a newer looking car, but with less specs on the inside, but I kind of like the utility of the car, like not looking like I just bought it. And then, you know, it's still pretty nice on the inside, so I really don't, you know, I just don't want any attention. I'm a foreigner in this country, so I really just don't want any attention at all. So this is already a big enough car, but I need it for the types of activities that I do and where I live and snow and stuff like that.